Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are in Southern California, where Amy Semple McPherson years ago started the real pro wrestling biz with evangelism. The place where John Griggs started the Brotherhood of Eternal Love. But most importantly, where Arena Center and Hadco Plaza birthed the local lucha libre scene. This is Vandal the Love Handle Drummond here with Alfredo Esparza.
As usual.
And as usual. Yeah, we deal with him. Yeah. We put up with him. And we're having a guest who we had on like over 2 years ago and have been meaning to interview again because this was our best interview ever. We're here with SuperBoy and along with his supposed nephew, Principe Indu Jr. I hear he's really his son, but that's for an angle up the line. An angle up the line.
Exactly, yes. That's the way it is. Hey, everybody. Started off really bad now. Hey, everybody, how's everybody doing now? Este es su amigo SuperBoy. Aquí estamos, ya saben. Es
LuchaWorld.com.
LuchaWorld.com. You know, I just said it right now. Just moments right here, man. But no, it's great to have you guys back. You know, it's been 2 years. And, hey.
We were supposed to be here like months earlier.
Exactly. Yeah, they're going to come. Hey,
yeah.
Don't even give me a date, just come.
Yeah.
Just show up. You'll be here.
Yes.
The doors are always open. They never close at La Casa de SuperBoy.
Así es, efectivamente. So, yeah, just go ahead and shoot.
Very cool, man. Well, we got so much awesome info from you, so many anecdotes and stories. I actually re-listened to that interview just a few days ago and said there's still so much to cover.
Kurt came prepared, unlike myself. We're not prepared, right, SuperBoy?
We prepare through unpreparedness. I think that must be some sort of Buddhist Zen quote somewhere.
You know, the weird thing is there was a lot of news this week in Lucha.
This is true.
Last 2 weeks, and we were telling SuperBoy, because he was asking me about Triplemania and Alberto Del Rio and
yes.
So there was a lot of I don't know if you knew about Dr. Wagner Jr. too. He returned to AAA.
Not really.
Yeah.
You know what? I haven't been following up with AAA. I'll be honest, since they took it off the air.
This is actually kind of funny because we were talking about Triplemania having a night pay-per-view, and SuperBoy mentioned it was on. He asked me I was going to tell him a story about the pay-per-view. First of all, it didn't work. Second, guess who Triplemania decided to... They decided to do English commentary for the
English
show. Commentary, yes, wow. English. Guess what wrestler they decided to ask
Don't tell me it was Konnan.
No, not Konnan. He's too busy. And he probably would have been fine because he works for the promotion. He would have known the names and everything.
Exactly.
Who would you think, besides Konnan, they would ask?
Besides Konnan?
Yeah. Who's worked in Mexico... who worked in AAA, and you would actually think it would be a bad idea, but they would actually go with it.
You're not talking about Jack Evans?
No, he's actually
that might have been a good idea.
Vampiro.
Really?
Yeah. Vampiro. So the show starts 10 minutes early, and Vampiro starts asking Hugo Savinovich was the other English commentary guy, and he's like. So, what are you guys gonna want me to say on this? Because I don't follow AAA at all. So actually, before that, a week before, on Wednesday, he tweets out, I don't know anybody in AAA. I don't watch AAA, and I wish somebody would tell me what I would do, what I should do. And I'm thinking, they told you 2 weeks in advance. Shouldn't you plan ahead?
Exactly. Do your homework. Watch a couple of videos.
Yeah, right.
On YouTube. Follow up on the weeks behind or the months behind, and it's real simple.
Yeah, so with YouTube, it's easier than ever to get caught up on anything.
Get this. Hugo Savinovich tells him, "I'll just throw it to you for your lucha libre knowledge." He has no idea what's going on. So I'm thinking, if you're a wrestler. You guys are both wrestlers, Vandal and SuperBoy are both wrestlers. You guys can pretty much wing that part, right? If somebody tells you what's going on, you would know more or less La Mecedora or basic moves. That's a backbreaker, call it.
Well, it's real simple. You know what? As, now being an MC,
Yes,
We'll get to that, and we'll get
You know,
to
so
Yeah.
so you know what I like to kind of narrate the matches play by play, and it's real simple. You know, if you know the lingo, you know the language, you know it should be real easy.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you're a wrestler, you're a former wrestler, you know things come naturally.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of guys, great guys out there. One of them that
Taz, yeah.
man, he's one of my all-time favorites ever
Yeah.
since Gorilla Monsoon.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
Konnan, I mean, you know, you could say a lot of stuff about him, but he can actually call the product because he works for the promotions.
Well, yeah. Not only that, like I said, you know, Konnan has always been somebody very interested in lucha.
Yeah, and like knowing
lucha,
what's going
wrestling,
on. Yeah.
what's going on around him, what's up and coming, everything.
Sadly,
you know?
he wasn't. He was busy doing the other stuff, and he's actually in bad shape too.
Well,
like
maybe
I
they
think.
should have taken him to that show he's doing. You know, looking for ghosts and stuff like that.
Oh, that would be great. That would be awesome.
I was saying that maybe they should have invited like had to call ghosts and stuff. So you know it's so funny because he starts the show and Paraguayo Jr. comes out with Konnan and because the show opens with Alberto Del Rio.
Okay.
That was the big story. Alberto Del Rio showed up on Triplemania, and he comes out and he's talking about how he came to the United States and he faced the biggest monster possible, and that monster is racism. And he was talking about how the and we'll probably talk about this a little more too. Like, and he was talking about how it doesn't matter how much money you have, how much. What race?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter who you are. You're going to experience racism in the United States.
Well, let me tell you one thing. Not only the United States,
In the whole-
you know,
yes.
in the whole world.
Yes.
Believe it or not, when I went to Japan, I experienced it also.
Yeah, really.
In fact, in the last podcast, I remember you saying there were certain bars they would not let you in.
Exactly.
Wow,
You know,
really?
we had to take, you know, like somebody to represent us, and had to be a Japanese.
Yeah. So he's talking about this, and as soon as he finished saying that he was El Patron, his new name is El Patron now.
Okay.
He can't be Alberto Del Rio. Although they mentioned about Alberto Del Rio 1,000 times, he used the entrance music from WWE.
Okay.
So
They're playing with fire.
Yes, they're going to get in trouble with WWE.
Well, you know what?
But I think they just did it because they want to introduce him. That's the easiest.
Well,
way
yeah,
to do it.
he still has some kind of clause with his contract.
Yeah, the 90
But you
day
know what? The thing that I was thinking that it gets to me, if he was fired, you know, there's still some stipulations. Or maybe he could even sue. You know.
Yeah.
Because you just can't be fired like for you know, just for that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I don't know how hard he hit him.
Well, in fact, tell SuperBoy the whole.
Yeah, so
story.
basically the reason Alberto Del Rio is out of WWE is because, and this is actually the big story of the last 3 weeks, that came out of nowhere. He was, I think it was a Raw show or a SmackDown, one of those shows. And he was in the backstage and they're getting the buffet line or whatever. And he didn't hear it, but he was told it. The guy decided to make a joke about, some other guy tells the guy, you go wash your plate. And he's like, I don't wash plates, that's Del Rio's job.
Oh wow!
So it got to Del Rio. He came out and he asked him to apologize because he took offense to it. So the guy didn't apologize. He made like a little
smirk.
fuck you, you know.
Yeah.
So Del Rio slapped him. So then I guess it went to the WWE people. And this guy, here's the other thing I found out. He handles social media for Twitter, so like the WWE social media.
Right.
Need somebody, you know, in that department. Wouldn't they be more smarter than
Exactly.
to make a comment like that?
Yeah, well, you know, dumb people.
Well, and this particular person is really dumb that they're keeping him on because not just Del Rio. Apparently, he looks down on all the wrestlers.
Yeah,
as
he's
subhuman.
just one of those assholes.
Wrestlers doesn't like the wrestlers all back Del Rio. But another thing that was coming out is their stock plummeted ever since the whole WWE network. So they've been looking for any excuse to let people go.
So
they've let a lot of people go.
Well, you know what? That was a really bad move, and I I was
for Latinos, right? Like,
yeah, because WWE has a big Latino followers. You know, and it's big. Just every time they come to San Diego, he gets the biggest pop.
Oh, Ray! When it was the pop that Rey Mysterio gets in San Diego,
and
the phone is singing to us.
It's important.
Good morning, starshine. The earth says hello.
This is like Konnan's podcast.
You twinkle above us. Except we're not taking bong hits.
Yeah, we're not taking bong
We
hits.
twinkle below.
but that was a really, really bad move on his behalf.
Do you need to take this?
No, it's cool.
We got no problem pausing. It's still real. It's still real calling us.
Oh yeah, he wants to know something.
Yeah.
Let me answer.
Yeah, no problem.
Let me
Pause.
answer real quick.
I think SuperBoy was telling us about racism.
Yeah, we had to have a
Yeah,
brief
Dr.
intermission
Racism.
there. I'm sure Fredo has put something very, very interesting between
it start?
files. Yes, it started.
Okay,
It's rocking.
So
No, but basically, that's what I'm saying. It was a bad move on WWE to let him go. Like I said, he's got a big Latino
that's
followers, and that wasn't the way to go.
I mean, they could have suspended him, done something
you know what?
different. Reprimanded. I mean, there's ways to
And then as his theme goes, and the name goes, I know for a fact that the name belongs to the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not long ago, I went to one of these parks over here by Crystal Lake, and they had a wrestling event, and it was from Knox.
Rick Knox?
Knox Pro. I think
Knox
it's
Rikishi's
Yeah, Rikishi.
company.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, you know what? I was surprised to see the WWE logo.
really.
Oh, my Lord. What were they
Yes.
thinking?
They're just using it.
They were
lately.
still profiting off the logo. And I was like, wait a minute, they had a booth. When Rikishi came out, all the people ran to the booth, and they had the WWE logo, and but once they heard the prices for the pictures and the autographs, everybody was scattered.
Well, when Sin Cara left when they got rid of him in WWE, all the promoters started putting up WWE on their banners, on their posters, and they some of them kept doing it. Some people don't care, but then some people started getting emails and messages telling them to take it down. But the ones who actually got pissed were AAA because they were going to use him as a secret.
Oh, okay.
When Averno jumped, they kind of got pissed.
Well, the thing is that Mexico's a different country.
Yeah.
And if they use the logo,
they're not gonna,
you're not gonna go. What can they do?
Yeah, you can't tell. Oh, take down those posters from the barrio.
What's gonna
happen?
With all these lawsuits for psychosis, for La Parca, for Nicho, what was the same guy?
Yeah.
All the Pentagon, era Pentagon.
The
Pentagon Negro. All they did was just change Negro to black.
Yeah. Yeah.
La Parca, LA Park.
Right.
And that's how they.
It sounds like a silly name when you tell it to American fans at the top.
La Park.
One of the top stars in Mexico is La Park. LA Park. Makes no sense.
And then the Mexican people don't pronounce it right.
Yeah.
So they go Elia Park. It's Elia Park.
Yeah, Elia Park. Yeah, they pronounce it as But see, that's Alebrije and all those guys had the same problem with AAA when they were doing it, but they didn't really. All they do is alter their mask and.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. For Sin Cara, the name he came up with.
Mistesis.
Yeah.
It's him.
Yeah.
Everybody says it's him.
The funny thing is, remember, a couple of months ago, he was the big name that was everybody was so on the show, you know him and Del Rio don't get along, right?
Oh yeah.
So Del Rio, all of a sudden now he's the top star because he's coming off of racism. I mean, he just got into this whole issue, the big Mexican guy who gets mistreated in the evil United States, goes back to Mexico. He's a national hero now.
Yeah.
So
and not only that, but coming into the WWE.
Yeah. And he didn't fail.
Everybody in Mexico, that's our goal. That's our main goal. You ask anybody in Mexico, hey, what's your main goal? They'll answer you. My main goal is to go to WWE.
Yeah.
Go to the United States. Go to WWE. It's not as easy as they think.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a Latino, because they screw up pushes of Latinos. They make it. Well, when they gave Del Rio the babyface push, they went overboard with trying to show how Latino he is. Like, every match is like, wow, doesn't he represent the Latinos well? Like, wow, he's really Latino, isn't he? Look at that Latin guy.
How Latino can you be?
And of course, everybody started like just, of course, who gets the blame for it is going to be Del Rio.
Yeah.
And they turn on him.
That's how WWE works. Like, if it's not their fault, it's not the writer's fault. It's their fault.
Yeah, they'll take Puerto Ricans and say they're from Mexico and think that people won't notice. Yeah.
It's like back in the old movies when they used to bring out these Chicanos that didn't speak a word of Spanish.
Yeah, they would try to talk like
as cholos, and like they were like, "¿Qué onda? What's up?"
Yeah, you're like, that's not.
Like, oh, it's not even making sense.
Yeah.
It's funny, but not in the way they intended.
So like, that was actually the big story, but then they topped it off by showing at the end of Triplemania a video. They weren't supposed to show it on the feed, but it ended up appearing. Rey Mysterio sent in a video telling everybody that he would be there soon. So it's like,
oh my god, I want to hear the fallout
they're
for
like
this
turning
one.
it into like this whole thing where, AAA is going to get him. They're probably going to, like, when they start running shows here, which I don't know what the hell they're going to do with that. You've heard about this story, right?
Yeah, I heard that they trying to put a base down here for AAA.
Yeah.
And you know what? Man, I don't know.
Do you have the El Rey network? Is that the first thing? Like,
But I'll tell you one thing. About a couple of months ago, maybe by the beginning of the year, a lot of the wrestlers here were so excited. Why? Because they were going to have AAA tryouts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a lot of the guys that are barely beginning in this business here, some of them were, we're going to go down there, and we're going to have the tryout. They were excited. They was going to be in San Diego somewhere. But and they go, well, did you already inform yourself? And how much is this costing? And it was like $300 just for inscription, and it was very steep. It was very steep.
Yeah. Especially for guys.
And that's if they like the audition.
Yeah.
And guess who's behind it?
Konnan.
Our friend Konnan.
Yep.
And I go,
he told us about this like 2 years ago. Like, I know actually.
Yeah, because we're shocked. We're shocked that it's actually happening now, because they had so many start dates and then it wouldn't happen. So we're like, oh my gosh, it's really happening now.
Yeah, because it was supposed to start like last year, I think, and then they switched it to this year, and then it was supposed to start during the summer. Mm-hmm. What time? What are we now? We're pretty much in August.
Yeah.
It's supposed to happen. The tapings were supposed to happen the 24th.
Okay.
But PWG is running a show that week, and they're not. If you're Mexican, you don't even have to worry about going to the AAA taping. They want the white boys to do lucha.
Well, yeah,
they want the gringos to do that.
Yeah.
Well, Mexico's always been good on foreigners.
Mm-hmm.
Over the years, Fabuloso Blondie.
Yes.
Haku. Who else? Lots of names. Lady. Jack Evans,
Marco Corleone,
what that other
Vampiro.
kid? One of the
Teddy Hart.
No, Teddy Hart.
Teddy Hart, the crazy.
Yeah, so the foreigners always been a big commodity. In Mexico, and a lot of I remember when like Sasuke and they used to go to Mexico, for tournaments, like most of the guys down there in Mexico would be pissed. Because they treated them better, and money was better for them, and that's something locals don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was giving the foreigners the best.
And that's what.
But it's something that it's like they say, the same thing happens here.
Yeah, it can get turned inside out.
We were just talking about why when Aparca and all these other names come, why they're always their image on the posters.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you put the logo guys?
Yeah.
And that's something I've been fighting since I don't know when. I go, dude, you gotta push your locals.
Yeah.
You gotta push your locals. You know what? You gotta make big names. Because remember, these guys, they only come for one show and they leave. And remember, the local guys are here stay, and that's who you got to push.
Yeah, so
even though they lose, he lost to La Parca. He didn't lose this to anybody.
Yeah.
It was La Parca. He lost the title belt to Ultimo Guerrero. It was a tremendous fight. They gave it their all, but the experience from Ultimo Guerrero, took the win over wherever it was.
Yeah, advertise them, but also advertise your guys. Have them alongside him. Let the people know.
What did Michinoku do?
Yeah, exactly.
Michinoku never had, unless it was Mil or Dos or Kendo.
Yeah,
they had them, or Superboy on their flyers, on their posters. But other than that, it was all the local guys. Dick Togo, Dolphin, Sasuke. Yeah. Their main guys, Hamada, Tiger Mask. That were always headlining the posters and everything else.
So I should ask Superboy, did you get your kids to try out for AAA?
No.
Are you going to try to get them in? We could get them in, man. We're tight with the booker,
Yeah, man. He does what I say. Well, not really, no.
The thing is, like what
he
they're
kicks
doing,
my ass first.
What they're trying to do is be like Americanized lucha. What Kevin Kleinrock said was gringo lucha. Have basically what you see in PWG.
Yeah.
Because in PWG you don't really see luchadors on their shows. It's the white, the guys who are going to be in TNA and stuff like that.
Right.
It's not like you don't see Capitan Oro and
exactly.
You don't see Superboy.
Exactly. And you know what? We've been talking about this over the past years about the Latinos not having many opportunities.
Yeah.
As far as American wrestling or American companies.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's always not only the language barrier, but why not prejudice?
Yeah, why not have a promotion that has a nice little mix of everybody? And everybody wants to do that. Like PWG is basically a mix of all the styles, but they don't have what luchador do they really have? They bring in the guys from Mexico. They'll bring in Demos and remember that one show that we went to. But that's not even them bringing them. That's somebody else bringing them.
Somebody else,
yeah. So it's you kind of want to see that different.
You'd like to see some. I mean, I think there's a lot of people there who would love to see some pure lucha. A lot, in fact, a lot of Americans who would dig it.
Well,
you don't want to see the watered down.
The
AWS shows. What happens when he used to bring in Blue Panther and
Remember that match between Dos Caras and Blue Panther? The whole audience was chanting Lucha Libre. Yeah. And
what did he do? He had Superboy teaming with Schooler. What was it, Schooler, right? You were teaming with Schooler that show?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you guys had a great match too.
Exactly, and that's what's missing nowadays. Why AWS is still on, is still going on, but most of the matches are more American style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do have a little cholo, but now they adapted to the
they
American
made
style.
them Americanized.
They got Mercurio Jr. They have a couple of wrestlers that know both styles, which is really good. But I would really love to see. What was AWS back in the 90s.
Yeah.
That was a fun time. Those were really fun shows.
Yeah. Bringing the names. Well, he had Misterioso there. He had me.
Now there's so many Misteriosos we can't tell them apart.
I'd like to know: are there more Misteriosos or more Huracan Ramirez's? Which have had more?
You know this better than we do. What's the deal with the Misterioso here in LA?
You want to hear the whole story?
Yeah, you can just
totally.
Okay,
can you
all the time in the world.
You know what? I don't know if I could tell it. They told me don't tell it, but you know what? I'm not No, well, this is what it is. I'm not gonna say per se just Misterioso, but in general, most of the old timers that have a big name, this is what they do as they start going older. Instead of saying, "Oh, I'm gonna lose the mask" or whatever, I start telling the name. So I go to Alfredo and I say, "You know what? I want to sell my name. So why don't you give me $3,000, $4,000 for the name?" Okay, I'll pay you for the name. So, but you didn't get any papers. You didn't get any rights to the name.
Yeah.
So I go to Kurt and I tell him, "You know what? I sell you the name."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how much? Well, $4,000. So this is what's happening. I know for a fact there's 3 Katokung Lees. and
a litter of them.
Yeah, and then I heard the story that he was still going. He's diabetic. Katokung Lee, Johnny Lascano Smith. and a very, very good close friend of mine. He's not doing well.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So he goes to this one guy that sold. I think the last guy he sold the name to. And he hits him up all the time. And the guy, he already paid him like 3 times.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
But since he's
sick,
doing bad and all that stuff economically.
So he's making whatever money he can off his name.
But that's what's happening like with Pierrot and all these other guys.
Exactly.
Like,
and that's in Misterioso's case, it's the same thing that happened.
Really?
Actually, the Misterioso that's in Mexico, he was right here in WPW. I can't remember his name because when I seen him a couple of months ago at Bakersfield.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, ¿qué onda, jefe? ¿Cómo está?" He gave me a hug and I go, "Who's this guy?" And I asked Martino, "Hey, I don't remember you used to wrestle with this name," and really, I don't remember.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I think he also bought the name. There's another guy in Texas, Misterioso. Which
I think that's the one that goes to Monterey, also the one in Texas.
I think so. So he also bought the name.
Oh, okay.
So Misterioso here, smart kid. Yeah, he bought the name, but he also got the rights to the name.
Oh, so he has it on paper.
He's got it on paper.
Yeah,
So he's a smart cookie.
He's a smart one. So the story is that I guess the guy from Texas called him and said, "You know what, we're gonna have a problem."
Yeah.
Because I have the name, and he goes, "Well, I have the papers. So you know what? My lawyer's gonna contact yours."
Oh, that's
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's very smart.
Yeah.
That's
very
good.
Smart kid.
So he doesn't have a problem with the guy in CMLL.
As a matter of fact, he was here.
Yeah, because I know he was here recently.
Yeah, recently, and he mentioned it in a few videos on Facebook. This is the real Misterioso. I'm coming to LA, and you want to make something of it? I'm here.
Awesome.
Yeah, so but yeah, the kid from here has all the rights to the name, and that's the way to go.
Yeah.
If you want to buy a name or whatever it is,
Have paperwork.
have paperwork.
Yeah.
Always, like the Japanese used to say, "Papelito habla." Yeah, that's the first thing they used to.
You'd sign stuff. Oh, I remember Michinoku, like as soon as I said, "Oh yeah, I'd love to do some booking," man, I was getting papers to sign up the yin yang, like everything, little thing for before you sneeze, they want you to sign.
And it's funny because on one of the, I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but on one of the tours, I guess Piloto lost the papers or they didn't send him some kind of papers, and I pull up this my FedEx folder that I had right there. It was like this thick. I go, "What paper do you need?" You need a letter of guarantee.
Yeah.
What do you need?
Oh my lord, something for everybody.
Just put one of the copies that I had there.
Yeah.
And just put it in with the rest, and that'll work.
Trip out.
Yeah,
It works.
So I'm part of the Japanese embassy now.
That's great. And what a great representative are you for these fine Latino people.
What I actually wanted to find out from SuperBoy, because I read this right when I was looking through his Lucha Wiki page.
Right.
And somebody mentioned that he had I don't know if we brought it up. Did we bring it up? Did you have a problem with Abismo Negro?
Yes, we asked him about it once.
Really?
But we never heard it. What it is?
I can't remember.
You can't remember if he had a problem? Somebody said you beat the shit out of him.
What it is said. He's a short guy, but a very tough guy. And if you don't believe me, ask Abismo Negro.
Because Abismo Negro passed away. I mean,
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
we should.
this was written years ago. This was written like
We don't
10
want to say
years
anything
ago.
bad. It was just a story that I kind
Yeah.
of wanted.
No,
to
you know what? As a matter of fact, you're the guy I was taking pictures with. He took an old mask of mine, a red mask.
Yes.
Okay. His name is what's his name? His son's name is Jonathan, and his name is
I'm so bad at names and
Spanish
faces. Something Spanish.
Juan.
But he finally represents the Latino community.
Gerardo.
Gerardo.
Gerardo. Really, really. Actually, he was like in the '90s. He was another Kurt Brown taking pictures,
Snapping
Really,
pics
really.
everywhere.
pictures everywhere. So it was pretty cool. And he was a really good friend of mine. His son was like one of my #1 followers.
Oh, really?
And so, after 13 years, we got in contact through Facebook.
Yeah.
So he showed up yesterday.
Oh,
I
really?
showed up yesterday to the SuperBoy's birthday bash, and it was really good reuniting with them. And, with his
That was the first time he in that all that time. I didn't realize that.
And I did introduce you to him. No, I didn't.
You did, yes.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Okay.
I thought I had seen him somewhere before though.
Yeah, he was there at Patalito's show all the time.
Okay, yeah.
Stamping pictures and everything, and he was very cool. And he saw it firsthand.
Oh, he saw the fight.
He saw the fight firsthand, and I remember going at it with Abismo in the ring.
You just didn't know why it was something ring related.
It was something ring related, and and something about who's going over.
Right.
Okay. So
Was he Abismo Negro at this point? Was he?
He was Abismo Negro
in AAA.
Yeah, he was Abismo Negro at this point. He's really good friends with Durango Kid. Mm-hmm. Really, really good friends. So he brought him over. He brought the Barca, not the
AAA one.
Top, yeah, but
the AAA one.
Barca, he brought the Barca. He brought.
Did you tell La Parca?
And yeah, he's a pretty tall kid.
Yeah.
He was pretty good build, and I remember he came in and barking orders and I told him straight out, dude, you're in my house. Mm-hmm. You don't come here and disrespect me. So he took it offensively, and we just slapped the shit out of each other in the ring. And I guess he didn't have enough. So as I was making my way to the locker room, he was waiting for me. Mm-hmm. So, I'm walking to my locker room, and actually I think he was with this guy, with Gerardo. I little short interview. Pictures and stuff, and he just went at me and he just punched me. Uh-huh. And after getting punched, I just, I went at it. And I remember seeing my wife and Piloto. And Piloto was telling me the other day, because we were reminiscing about that. And he's like, my wife, hey, go help him. No te apures, el gordo puede. So we went at it, and he got the worst part of it.
Yeah,
he got the worst part of it, and that's something that we had. And actually, I seen him one more time in Japan.
Oh, really?
And
that's when him and Electroshock, right, or one of those guys went with him.
Actually, it was.
Or Vipers or something, one of those groups, right?
Yeah, but he was with the Vipers.
Yeah.
I guess he was the leader.
Yeah.
Back then it was Maniaco, Hysteria, and Psychosis.
Yeah.
And he was the other
fake, fake Psychosis.
And but we that's what happened. But he got the worst end of that.
Did you guys fight afterwards?
You know what? I went into the locker room.
Yeah, and he was fine.
And he was like asking for help to La Parca. And I go, dude, you want to end it right here, or you want to still go at it? No, that's cool. He's like, that's it.
And so how was it when you ran into him again in Japan? Was it?
Oh, yeah, it was a little bit awkward.
Yes,
but you know what?
Like
I'm a professional.
Yeah, you're not around him.
No,
right.
So I went up, I said, hi, how you doing, what's up? And we exchanged business cards.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
And so he gave me a little business card, which...
you threw it away.
No, you know what? Actually, all the business cards that I have from wrestlers, I keep. Uh-huh. I have them. But I'll be honest, I'm not a fan. So I know there's one wrestler here in LA that it's a really Abismo Negro fan. So I gave it to him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I gave it to him. And,
very nice.
So I go, you know what? I think you're gonna appreciate this more than
than you would. Yeah.
So
earlier we were talking about, we're briefly mentioning that Konnan's somebody who really studies the business, and you came up around the same time he came up. Could you tell at that time that he had a good eye for the business? Was it?
I don't want to call him an opportunist, but that's what he is.
Yeah.
He sees opportunity and he takes it. He's a very smart man. And I knew that from the start, because I remember him walking into the win shows and literally just taking over. Just taking over. And the only thing I didn't like about him at that time, because seeing him in person up front, he was very impressive. In those days, he was like, you saw him and you saw his body. That was like he was going to explode.
He was a giant, exactly.
He had a great physique. Physique's well worked, and I remember he was he just took over, literally.
Wow.
Just took over the locker room.
Wow.
And, you know, you had guys, you had the Guerreros, and like I said, for the win tapings, Chavo, everything evolved around Chavo Guerrero and their family. Hector, Mando, Eddie, and his dad.
In fact, were you there the night when Mondo tried to intimidate Tim Taltrey?
Yes, I was.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Actually,
man.
I was there for all the tapings.
That's right. Because
The first half of tapings, I was part of the audience.
I remember Bill Anderson told me about it, and I mean Tim Taltrey. You don't fuck with him.
You know what? I actually, after the win tapings, I wrestled Tim Taltrey a couple of times. Love working with him.
Oh, he was a great worker.
He was, you know, he told a story. He worked, and you know, you see him and he's skinny with the big hair. You really think much of him. He was a really good mat wrestler.
Yeah.
Very good mat wrestler.
Something that I love. You know, coming up as a wrestler, the mat wrestler.
Well, like you, he grew up in wrestling. He grew up on the road.
Yes, and he's second generation also.
Second, well, in fact, when your two sons are teaming, I keep telling Superboy Jr., they remind me of a team called the Assassins from the South in the 60s. And one of them was a guy named Tom Ernesto, who's Taltrey's father.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, so Tim Taltrey literally grew up on the road with him. That's why he was such a tough little
no. And like
guy.
I said, he knew his job, man. I seen him in another match. I think it was against Marco Polo. Mm-hmm. You know, I was definitely...
Oh, yeah.
And, they went at it, too. And, but, yeah, Tim Taltrey, I remember him, and a great wrestler. Another guy that really, I was impressed by in those tapings was Crazy 33.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I grew up watching him in Juarez.
Yeah.
He was...
El
You know, I
Paso.
tell Dr. Maldad, dude, you remind me so much of him.
Really? Wow.
Styles goes. Look at the tapings and look at Maldad. Maldad is from Juarez, too.
Oh, okay, so that explains it.
Chihuahua, I know he's from Chihuahua.
That's still
But he's
Chihuahua.
still, yeah.
He probably saw him on TV.
Actually, I think he
Work
was
with
one
him.
of his...
Oh, he trained him?
yeah.
And Crazy, he could have gotten in the ring and not even done any wrestling moves and still get over. Just
And
all
not only
those
that, he had
facials
that
and...
appearance where, you know, the crowd would go...
Yeah, like...
Yes.
They just want to kill him, though.
Yeah, so that was one of the persons that really, I was impressed by. The other one was Tony Veneto, Gran Marcus.
Gran Marcus, yeah.
And well, that's about it. Konnan and like I said, you know, Konnan's always been an opportunist. He's always taking advantage of all the opportunities.
Yeah.
He's a good smooth talker.
Yeah.
He gets his way.
Yeah, that's what I try to explain to people when they tell us why do people keep working with him, or why do people because there's some people who don't like him. Mm-hmm. But it's like you tell him, yeah, but you've never talked to Konnan. You know, he treats you like you're the important person. Like he will ask you questions. He wants to know what you're doing.
And that's how he gets in.
And that's how you get in. He knows how to talk. He's not
Exactly.
He's not stupid. He's a smart guy.
Yeah, and like I said, you know, for those tapings, and then as soon as he walked into AAA,
yeah,
you know, he did the same thing.
Yep.
He was running the locker room,
yeah,
running everything
else.
else.
Look at his return to AAA again. How he did good in WCW and all these other places.
Yeah, and exactly. You know, and like I said, you know, the great thing about him is he speaks both languages.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, coming into WCW, that's why I think like for Rey Mysterio, for Eddie, and for him, you know, they opened a lot of doors for the Latino wrestlers. Why? Because they knew the language, and those are the three that went the furthest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody else kind of just.
Yeah, kind of was like in the crowd.
Yeah.
Not making a lot of noise, but getting noticed.
Getting paid.
Yeah, and basically that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I had the tryout, and
we were going to talk about their tryout, because I know we ran out of time the last time. Their tryout, when was that?
That was I want to say 98, 99.
Yeah, I just remember watching that because they didn't show your tryout match. I think they showed what they showed of you was you hanging out with all the luchadors, dunking
Eric Bischoff.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just remember looking at like, that's Superboy.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And I marked down. I was like, fucking Superboy's on Nitro.
Yeah.
Because you were like with Felino. I'm like,
Yeah.
Felino. And I think there was another. I think Blitzkrieg debuted on that show. Like he did make it on that show.
Well, actually, I knew from day one, since we went to the Festival de Lucha, that he was the one that they were after.
Blitzkrieg.
Mike Tenay, I think, had liking to the kid, and everybody knew. Everybody knew, and they actually, they gave him a hard time. I think he wrestled one of the Villanos, and actually he got hurt.
Really?
The Villano got hurt.
One of the Villanos actually hurt him.
Oh, hurt Blitzkrieg.
Because everybody knew,
He was
that he was a guy. Because Konnan was just pampering him, and
because he was a Revolution Pro.
Revolution Pro, and Ron Rivera was there.
Yeah.
And I remember watching Ron Rivera. I go, man, this guy is a bad wrestler.
I was gonna ask you about that.
And I was thinking of that. Yeah. Well, he's not such a good wrestler. What's he doing here?
Well, in fact, I'm surprised Mike Tenay would go to bat because Mike Tenay is, he's friends with the Villanos. I would think he'd be more into like you or Felino. He's a lucha fan. He actually explained lucha on WCW like nobody could.
Exactly. Yeah. So like I said, I was surprised to see some of these guys. And
who were like the really bad ones that you like saw at that taping?
You know what? Actually, I'm gonna say I guess he was the only bad one I saw.
Oh, okay. Because there was like a really good, it was like
it was like the best of the best.
The taping. Tell us about the taping because that was something that like everybody. Did you see cameras actually filming the show? Like, because that's like a long.
Okay, this is all I knew.
How did it come about?
I remember talking to Piloto. He goes, "Oh, you know what? Rey Mysterio called me, and he said that the
Junior or the
senior,
senior, because he was tight.
Junior wasn't that popular at that time.
Yeah,
and I remember Piloto calling me. He goes, "You know what? They called us to go to Waco, Texas."
Were you like Waco, Texas?
Yeah.
Are they going to burn our compound down?
I go, I heard they don't like Mexicans down there. And so he said, they're going to do some tapings for. No, as a matter of fact, he didn't mention anything.
He just knew it was a wrestling.
He goes, yeah, you know what? You need to be here on I guess Friday. You need to be here. We're going to leave off of the Ontario airport. So I spent the night at his house, and then early the next morning, his wife drove us to the airport. Dude, I didn't know it was.
You just knew it was a WCW wrestling show.
No, not even that. Not even that. All we knew that we were booking. All we knew was that we were going to Texas to go wrestle. That's all.
You could have shown up, and they could have like done something to you guys. Man.
Yeah, really.
I mean, seriously.
And the next thing I know is getting off the plane, and then somebody was looking for us. I can't remember who it was, and they told us, "Hey, you know what? There's a bus waiting for you guys." Oh, okay, cool. So we went to the bus, and the first guys I saw in the bus were these huge dudes, man. They had bodies like bodybuilders.
Oh, really?
Man.
I go, man, no way, man. What did we get ourselves into? And then later on, I found out that they were the dancers. They were the dancers. They had a great body.
Yeah.
And then as I went, making my way into the bus, I saw this Mexican guy there with a little jacket. Dude, I didn't even know. Like, man, who the hell is this guy? And then, because I didn't know a lot of the wrestlers, and the guy I'm talking about was Felino. I didn't know who the hell he was.
You don't sound like the mask.
Yeah, and then it was Felino, and then I saw Salcedo, and then I saw Cristobal Zorro.
Zorro, yeah.
And then went on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
So it was like a lot of the people, everybody really famous there.
Yeah.
So and once we got to the place, the first person that greets me is Chris Jericho. Yeah, he just goes, gives me a big hug. Hey man, how you doing, man? Pretty good. Are you gonna be jumping all over the place? I'll try. So he introduced me to Disco Machine or Disco
Inferno.
Disco Inferno. this little machine is the other guy.
Yes.
And then we went to the catering place and, got something to eat. And so I said, okay, well, I'll see you later. And then Rey Mysterio hits me up. Hey, how you doing, Superboy? That was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And then Hoovy hits me up also.
Oh, wow.
And he goes, hey, you know what? Been following you through the Japanese magazines.
Yeah.
You're Superboy, right? Yeah. Hey, well, I've been following you too through, Thunder and Nitro. And,
Thunder, you're like Thunder. Not so much.
And then I saw the Villanos, Fit Finley, a lot of the guys.
Yeah, you're like,
everybody there was like, really top wrestlers. And
then you saw Ron Rivera and you're like, whoa, what the hell is that?
Hey, what are you doing here, man? And then I saw, I remember seeing Blitzkrieg out. The only person I remember seeing was Ron Rivera. And then I was just hanging out with Piloto, and I knew half of the people there, the other half I just didn't know.
Yeah.
And Piloto kind of knew almost everybody there. And he's like, and a lot of the guys were asking, hey, ¿quién es el gordito? Who's the chubby guy?
Yeah.
Who's the chubby guy? And he goes, ahorita van a ver, cabrones, who's the chubby guy? Like, you'll see who he is in a few minutes. So the first match that we had there, because they came in and they put a card, we did like 6 tapes in one day.
Oh, really?
Just like we did it for...
Like Win.
Yeah. So, and I wonder where he got the idea from.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
So
Win was an all-day party. Those were fun.
So, yeah, we did the same thing that day. And I remember they posted up the card. The first match, I was in the first match. It was Silver King, Venom Black, and Kendo. And then on the opposite side was Villano Cuarto, Felino, and myself.
Oh, wow.
And I remember, those guys just, Felino and Venom, hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing? Hey. So they went, and then they were talking their stuff, and then Villano and Silver King. Parejita, ya sabe. So I just had to come back like a few days before that from Japan, from touring with Kendo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Kendo's, hey, bro, you know what to do. Okay, yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
So here comes the first 2 that went in was, I think it was like, I can't remember who it was. It was, I think, Villano and Silver, or the other way around. I think it was Felino and Venom, then Villano and Silver King. Mm-hmm. So people knew who they were because they were in WCW. But we got the biggest pop, dude. Mm-hmm. As soon as I went, I jumped to the top. I did the head spring. I positioned myself. Here comes Kendo with a cartwheel, a backflip. Mm-hmm. I run to the second, do my backflip, and it was just magic from there.
Wow.
And the people were standing. We had a standing ovation.
That's awesome.
Was it packed or?
It was packed. It was packed. I can't remember what venue it was. I can't remember what it was. But the place was packed.
Wow.
The place was jam packed, and from there on, we had everything. We had everything. The crowd really accepted us.
Yeah.
We got the biggest pop. We got the biggest pop, and I remember.
Did you only work that one match, or were there more matches?
Actually, I only did 2 matches.
2 matches. Mm.
Just so you could see how much Konnan liked me. Just so you can see how much Konnan liked me. And so, anyways, we tore the house down. We had a standing ovation. Silver King took the win over me, and I remember he told me, I want you to go to the second rope and do a backflip, but I want you to go as high as you've ever gone, right? Yeah. I said, okay, when you land, I'm gonna drop kick you and I'm gonna do my finisher. I said, fine, and I remember running to the second rope and jumping so high that all I remember was hitting myself in the forehead. I said, oh man, this guy didn't duck on time. I kind of hit him on the shoulder or something. That's what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. And when I land on my feet, he's like surprised. And he's looking at me. He froze. So what I did, I grabbed him. I pushed him to the ropes, reverse it, bro. Boom, he reverses it and gets me on his finisher.
Wow.
And I'm not lying to you. When I went in the locker room, there was a standing ovation of all the guys.
Awesome.
In the locker room.
That is so cool.
And everybody's, man, we got to change everything, man. Did you see these guys out there? Fuck that.
Yeah.
You know? And, we just tore the house down. Well, as soon as, after that great performance that I had, Konnan calls me up. He guess who he called?
Who?
Me and Piloto.
Uh-huh.
And he calls me and Piloto over. Oh, this is a situation. One of the referees didn't show up. So I need one of you to be a ref. Why did you get Ron Rivera?
Yeah.
Be a ref.
Yeah.
And so anyways, and then I said, you know what, Piloto? I'll do it. I don't have a problem with doing the referee.
So you ref through the show?
I ref the whole show.
We would have seen you on
I did 5 shows.
Wow.
And then the last show, I guess, I must have caused some impact or something because they did wanted me to wrestle. And it was against, I think it was against Piloto, Rey Mysterio, and I think Venom Black. I can't remember.
Because they had some weird lineups too. Like it wasn't like
you know
Beyond 4
what?
and 5.
The first card was really good.
Uh-huh.
The next ones. This is what happens when you get a bunch of Mexicans that are not lost in translation.
Uh-huh.
You know, they telling them it's TV time. You guys have 5 minutes. You got a minute to go to the ring. If, and another minute to do your things, and you got like 3 minutes to do the show. And they didn't understand that.
Yeah.
You know, they still wanted to put their work in and still go at it. And for me, it was the first time experience being a ref. You got the earpiece and you got the, instructions being.
They didn't like your refereeing because I don't.
No, they did.
Hired you to do that.
No, they did.
WCW ref. Hey, who's the ref right there?
A ref can do a moonsault.
Yeah.
I did.
They could do a moonsault. Look at that. They could have been like the original like heel ref that does dives and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that became popular in Mexico after like in the 2000s. Like
exactly. But you don't put that in style, right?
Yeah.
Platanito.
Really?
Yeah, Platanito was a high flyer ref.
Wow.
Oh, he used to do the Johnny Red Shoes Dugan dive when he did the 3 count.
Well, actually, in one of our matches, I was watching some old tapes. And I remember I'm going to pin the guy, and he jumps before, and we crash in the air.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So anyways, So I did the refereeing for all those matches. Finally, I get a match. And it's by the end of the show. And then, like I said, I must have, somebody must have said, put him back in.
Yeah, because you were invited next to Monday
Exactly.
Night.
No, but wait. There's
still more?
No.
There's still more?
There's more.
Wow.
So anyways, I guess they wanted me to go back, so they tell me, okay, they want you to wrestle. And I was tired, dude.
Yeah, from refereeing. Yeah.
I was tired because I did the whole matches. And I said, okay, fine, no problem. But it was pretty cool. It was a really cool experience because when they let me go by myself, so they had all the pyros and everything. It was so cool.
Yeah.
That experience that you have, then the ovation from the people, and walking into the ring. It was really cool. And like I said, it was Halloween and Damien and myself versus Ray. I think it was Piloto. I can't remember. And Men in Black. So I have to say it was not good of a match.
Oh, really?
Because like in the middle of one of the spots, I got a cramp.
Oh.
The match, I just got a cramp.
Yeah.
And then I just rolled out, and then Damien said, "Hey, ¿qué pasó, papá? You know what? I got a cramp.
Yeah.
I can't, it's right here."
So when you got one of those, you can't.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't just smack it out.
No, I couldn't. And every time I would do the, gotta stop. So I couldn't do anything after that.
Yeah.
So like I said, I refereed like 5, and then like every taping was like, I can't remember, like 7 or 8 matches. All single matches.
And
All that single matches.
All that work and it doesn't even make it to TV, right?
Yeah.
No.
Somewhere I bet those tapes are
Yeah, I know.
still inside some.
What they ended up airing was Nitro with Spanish announcers, which wasn't that bad because it was 1 hour. 1 hour of Nitro. What would they put on the show in Spanish? They would put like Rey Mysterio and Juventud Guerrero. You wouldn't watch all the other crap. You didn't have to watch all the Hogan crap.
I bet WWE owns that tape now.
Yeah,
because they own the library.
They probably have your.
They probably have it.
Yeah, because I wanted to see that first one. Because I looked it up in the internet.
Yeah.
And they do have the listings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen the results.
Yeah. And so, anyways, okay, so I was bummed out because of that. But it was pretty cool because we went back to the hotel. We got to hang around with the guys and everything. Everybody at WCW was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then going back to and then so we go home and I get a call, but this is what happened, and I knew beforehand. The trial was for Blitzkrieg, Felino, Venom,
And you were.
and Mosco de la Merced.
Oh, okay.
But Venom got so high.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he got an accident or something. Something happened to him. And so he couldn't make it.
Oh, okay.
So I guess they called me at the last minute.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, I don't know, it must have been cheaper to get to him.
Well, that was the weird thing when I first, like, people would start asking me about where to get luchadors. They would always ask me, can you get me to fly in guys from, like, Mexico and stuff like that? And at this time, you were still wrestling. I go, why don't you guys just contact guys from LA? I mean,
Yes.
I know.
But it's like,
Yes.
it's like Nebraska, and I'm like, you're going to run an indie show in Nebraska. I don't think these guys are going to want to go anyways. It's like, I don't think they're going to go anyway, so it's got to be something bigger than that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyways, they called, they called me, and I remember I get to the airport, and I see Blitzkrieg. He's lost. He's on the airport. What do I do from here? And I recognized him because I seen him a couple of times in Anaheim.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I really didn't know the kid. Really, really nice kid, man.
He must have been nice. He got out of the business.
Yeah. And like I said, I see them there. I go, well, this is what we do from here on.
Yeah.
We just get a taxi, get a hotel nearby, and then the next morning, we get another taxi, take us to the place. We got to be between those 2 points, between the place and we wrestled at the Target Center in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Was this? Yeah, I was gonna say it was Minnesota. I remember being.
And then so we got a hotel near the airport and the place. And then the next morning, everybody was there at the same hotel.
Oh, really?
So yeah, we just kind of went down there and man, it was just an ego trip, man. Because in the locker room, everybody wanted to be a chief. No, really.
WCW was bad.
Which was
There's a
what-
book
They had
about
the Macho Man
WCW. So.
group. They had the what's his name? Diesel.
Nash,
The
Kevin
Kevin Nash group with all the wrestling guys. Then Hogan, who I don't think he showed up that day. And then Ric Flair had another group. And then Goldberg didn't even bother going into the locker room.
Wow.
He was outside on the table by himself. And then Kevin Nash walks in and this is what's going to go on. I'm taking over and blah, blah, blah. All these ego trips. Everybody there wanted to be the main guy.
That's what eventually destroyed the promotion.
Like, which way do I go? Nah, you stay over there, Alvarez. We don't want you guys. Yeah, so it was pretty cool because, like I said, at that time, Damien, Halloween, Calo, La Parca, the Villanos.
Garza was there too, right?
Hector Garza was there too. This other guy, what's his name? El Dandy.
Dandy was there.
So all the guys, all the original guys they came into WCW, they were there. So
did they tell you stories about how bad it was, or they didn't? They just never noticed it.
well,
They
knew about it.
Yeah.
They knew about it. But like I said, you know what? They didn't care.
Yeah,
They didn't care.
it's money.
They were there for the ride.
Yeah.
They were like, when do we get a check? When do we get a check?
They're making a living.
Oh yeah. Regardless, I was like talking to David. We wrestle or not wrestle, we're still getting a check.
Did you hear who got paid for never wrestling there?
Aside from Halloween.
No, Lanny Poffo, Randy Savage's brother.
Oh,
He got signed. Savage said part of my contract is I want my brother to get a job. So
they got paid.
So they signed him. They gave some lucrative deal, but we can't come up with anything for him. So how long was it? For a long time,
as Macho Man was there, I think.
Oh, wow.
yeah. So he made money.
Yeah.
Staying at home.
He was making good money to not do anything.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So,
Well, a lot of guys were there.
yeah, a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Money for
We're
not
making-
doing
we're
it.
doing anything.
No, because I'll be honest. You know what? The only time I seen Halloween was that when I think it was when they had the 2 rings.
Yeah.
And he was he made it all the way to the finals. But when he lost the mask, it was Dean Malenko.
I remember. Yes, I remember that.
I go, what?
I remember that.
I speak perfect Spanish.
Now, I want to go way, 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 way back in time.
Oh man.
Totally. Somebody I've heard you mention, but I've never heard about in detail. And actually, I want to go over some of the originals from here in LA. You said one of your first trainers was a guy named Abismo Negro. Who was he, and what did you learn from him?
Abismo Negro. All I could remember from him, it was this thin guy, not very muscular, but he was one of those guys that that live in the gym. Mm-hmm. He was, just firm, strong, and very quiet person. I know for a fact that his teacher was Diablo Velasco.
Oh.
He was from Guadalajara also. So I remember starting at a young age, training, and he was a trainer back then for what was it, Mondays and Wednesdays. Those were the amateur days.
Was this at Gills?
At Gills, yes, at Gills. And I remember going in with him once and just loving the training sessions he had. It was basically endurance, just building up a foundation, legs, arms, and neck. And I remember you remember how steep the stairway to the second floor was?
Yes.
Coming down, it was like you're gonna fall in.
Yeah. One wrong move, you hit face first.
Used to grab us from the legs, and not from the knees or like how we do it now. How we do it. Somehow guys do it now. They put them in and they help them out. No, they grab you near the ankles, and then you would walk on your hands and then climb the.
Because those stairs were almost like a ladder.
Yeah.
They were so
Yeah.
steep.
So you go up and down the stairs.
Yeah, you went up and then the scariest part was coming down. Because you gotta balance yourself.
Yeah.
And it was like doing a damn handstand. And it was scary, but I remember doing it, and then we would walk around, go up those ladders. There was a dressing room up, so you would go, come back around, and then you would go the ones to the bathroom. And come back down.
Oh wow!
And I guess just a lot of endurance. And then you would do the on the apron of the ring, do the headstands, and then just work your neck. And then once you went in the ring, I remember the first time going in the ring, my hands were just shaking.
Yeah.
And my feet were shaking. And then we would do just more exercise. He never taught me how to do a roll up until I want to say 3 or 4 months after.
And yes, if you have trouble falling to sleep, Lunesta can help.
And
Important phone call.
Hello. They're calling collect.
Let's record this.
hey, how you doing, Louis?
It's Lenny Dauber.
You pause it.
I should pause it, is what Fredo says. I'm going to pause this.
Yeah, they're training today.
Gleedy glop gloopy, nibby nobby
All right.
nibby la 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 lo. Saba subi saba nubi abanaba lili la lo.
Yeah, so like I said, once we went in the ring, you would still work on our neck, and not until the 3rd or 4th month of training, you started with rolls. And by this time, I remember I was oh my God, I was like 10 or 11. And you couldn't see my neck. You know,
The no-neck
like,
monster.
yeah, you know, and actually, I had all the baby fat, and I burned it all out. I was still fat. You know, it was muscle. You know, it was muscle, and so he helped me build a good foundation: legs, arms, and neck. And he goes, "This is what you need to become a good wrestler." Because you'll have a good stance. You know, when you stand for the referee hold or whatever, you know it's not gonna be as easy for people to push you around and move you around. You know, your hand goes behind your neck, and then the other one goes in the arm, and they pull. And you know, if you have a firm stand, you know you're not going anywhere. So, anyways, he really teach me a lot. Once I started doing the roles, it came in naturally. I didn't have a hard time learning. And then he started showing us a few locks, a little bit of collegiate wrestling, and basically that's all he taught us. And then a year or two. Actually, I trained with him for many years. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was like 13 when he said, "Oh, you know, it's time for you to upgrade it to go to the professionals." Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to go. So I remember, you know, oh man, it was Gil, and then it was Rocky Ramos, Gori Chavez,
Coloso, yes.
Platanito, all the wrestlers. Mm-hmm. And I was nervous. And but yeah, my brother said, "Nah, let's go." So I remember taking the bus. I used to take the bus to East LA and go to train. We went there and we trained, and he talked to Gil. He goes, "You know what? He's ready to be in the professionals." So okay, well, I'm gonna give him a little test. So the guys that gave me the test was Rocky Ramos, Almo Rieta, and Coloso. Mm. And they just manhandled me. They slapped me around. Yeah. I remember Almo Rieta just grabbing me and just giving me the punches, and I remember. I
got that too from him and Gori Chavez.
Yeah, and he hit me. I remember hitting me in the jaw, and I lost my hearing.
Wow!
No way! Yeah. I never knew about that.
He hit me in the jaw, and I couldn't hear. And I was like, I can't hear. And he was like, "Ah, ese cabrón," and then afterwards, my ear was like,
yeah.
So I got scared. I freaked out about that.
It took you a while.
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't hear. So anyways, and then the rest is history. Basically, you know, I trained at Gil's. I used to love going to Gil's, and what I used to love about it is he had his own routines, but he would change it. He would put a lot of like hold for hold, and you had to do it exactly the way he did it. Oh, wow. So the only guy that would get an opportunity to mess up was the guy behind him. Gil.
Right.
Everybody else had to do it. If you were in the middle or the last and you fucked up, they would either chop the shit out of you, or you know, everybody gave you like a slam or something, dude. So you had to pay very, very good attention. And nobody said nothing, was just waiting in line and all anxious. I was my turn. And I remember looking, okay, he gets him like this. He tells him, okay, let's say this is me, I'm coming in. That's what I used to think. That's me coming in, okay, how is he getting him? Okay, he got him like this, he threw him like that. Okay, cool. I got it. So, you know, you had to really, he would really put you to think. You know, and he would say, man, whoever fucks up.
And was there always one person that?
Yeah, there's always one guy. There's always one guy that's talking or looking.
Me.
No, Capitan.
No, I was always. Oh, really?
Capitan was always playing around.
Yeah.
You know, Capitan was like the class clown.
Yeah.
You know, I remember he used to poke people in the butt or smack them in the ear.
Oh, I remember the first time workout with him, somebody turned on the radio and it's some ranchero music, and he just grabs the wrestler nearest him and goes, "Bailamos."
Yeah, he was a class clown, and
But I remember I'd get stressed out because I'm waiting in line. And the other thing I remember, if you leaned against the ropes, put your hand, they smack it right off.
Yeah.
And it was a good exercise for the brain, not just for the body. You just
like I said, you were like there, like, you know, I used to stand in line and, you know, and then sometimes if somebody talked to you, and then you'll say, okay, you guys want to talk? You come right to the front. You know, you're going to do it. And if you didn't do it right, you couldn't talk.
Yeah.
They were very, very strict. And you know what? That's some of the things that I miss, because nowadays there's no discipline.
I agree.
You know, the guys get out for a water break. They come back in. Back then, you couldn't get off the ring for a water break.
Yeah.
You know, you started the class. You started the class at 6:00, and you stopped at 8.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. I remember that you'd go through all of those routines, and then they'd have you, doing simple working with the other wrestlers.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a great workout. That's how classes should be taught.
Yeah, and I thank God for my first trainer, Abismo Negro. Avispon.
That means Black Hornet, right?
Black Hornet.
Yeah.
Exactly right. And, you know, it was really unfortunate because I don't know if you remember, I think you should go by the name of Golden Ninja. Mm-hmm. Or the name similar in Baguio Plaza. Well, anyways, they were partying at some party, and they're playing cards, and one of the guys got pissed. Mm-hmm. He pulled out a gun, and he actually killed the Golden. I think it was Golden Ninja. I can't remember his name.
Mm-hmm.
He shot him and killed him.
Oh my God!
Shot Abismo Negro.
Oh. No way!
Yeah, he shot them both, and he took off, and he didn't do well ever since.
Oh,
I don't know if he's still alive or not. But I remember
he survived the gunshot.
He survived the gunshot.
Wow!
I remember seeing him in the '90s, and I just went and gave him a big hug. You know, it's been many years, and hey, how you doing? And I'm pretty good. I'm doing good. Thank you. You know, thanks for your teachings and everything. Yeah, but he was really cool.
Wow!
Really cool. I only wish we still had disciplined people like him and teaching basically the basics.
It's like guys. I've seen guys start out. They do nothing but flying, and then sometimes they go to lock up and they stick their fingers in each other's eyes.
Yeah.
It's like
and real rookie mistakes. Like if you give somebody a clothesline and you follow up, and they're throwing their legs or they're throwing their arms, and they get you. You know. So yeah, I see this a lot. I've been watching FMLL. CMLL. And it's just like one flying move after another.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the first match, you see them all.
Yeah.
It's a shame because, they got a really good talent.
Yeah.
They have Volador, they have La Máscara, which I think are very, very talented. But you know what? I don't know what they're looking for. They're looking for that opportunity. They're looking for that chance. But I think they should go back to their roots, man.
They should. Well, one thing, the flying's cool, but the hold for hold is poetic, and they're missing out when they don't put it into it. It's just...
Yeah, I remember back in the day watching Dandy Atlantis.
Yes.
Angel Azteca. It was just poetry in motion. Man. It was like, man, and I used to say, man, I wish someday I could wrestle like these guys, and I used to see them and I go, wow, man, I want to wrestle like that someday. And, and it's just working, man, just working at it, working at your craft and working what you're good at and practicing every day. And that's what makes you the highest.
Yeah, when you're talking about Avispon's workouts, I mean, I like that idea of getting everything to be second nature before you teach them the big stuff.
Exactly. And you know what? That helped me with in my wrestling because first of all, you become fearless. Mm-hmm. If you're not fearless, you can't do this.
Right.
You can't be in this business. Why? Because it requires a lot of acrobatic.
Yeah.
It requires a lot of jumping out of the ring into the ring from the top, and it's like when you first go to one of those big high-rise trampolines in the pools, and you look down and oh my God,
you got to get rid of the
feeling when you go to the third row.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I did a plancha I never done a plancha to the outside. And I remember I was like, Jesus Christ, it was like 93 or 94. And I'll do the plancha. And nobody wanted to do it. I'll do the plancha. And I remember running, boom, boom. Once I was there, I was like, damn, that's long. Oh my God. And I said, well, fuck it, I'm here.
Yeah.
So I just expanded myself and just nice. And, but yeah, it is scary. It is scary.
Well, you can tell some wrestlers they kind of worry about
see,
it.
that's the beauty of what my teacher, he taught us. Dude, you know what? I get frustrated sometimes because I swear to God, a lot of people can do a 3/4 roll.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that was one of the first things they taught me.
Exactly.
And I remember they had me doing 3/4 rolls, front rolls, back rolls. I don't know how long before they even let me lock up or anything.
Exactly. So, and well, with this guy, like I said, he straightened their arms, legs, and neck. Mm-hmm. And he goes, dude, this is your foundation.
That's your base.
This is your base. This is where everything's gonna happen, And then, like I said, I've said it before. And then the next best advice I ever got was from I can't remember who it was, but he told me, you know what? Since you're small in stature, you're always gonna have problems, especially wrestling the big guys. They're gonna be much heavier. So what I suggest you do is, you hit the weights, and the best thing you can do is start working with heavier people. Mm-hmm. So I started working out with the Panthers. The Darryls. I don't know.
Oh, I remember them, the Black Panthers.
Yeah.
So, my God, I haven't thought of those guys in years. They were
I used to call them Daryl
the
1 and Daryl
70s group or whatever.
Yeah, what it was they were two American guys.
They
They dug Blue Panther and they had some masks that had the same design, only black. But I haven't thought of those guys in a long time.
Yeah, so
were they white dudes or something? Or
No, they were black.
Oh, black dudes?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. So
they were both Daryl. I used to call them Daryl 1 and Daryl 2.
Daryl. Like the old the old Bob Newhart.
Like the Bob Newhart.
Newhart show said, "I'm Daryl. This is my brother Daryl. This is my brother Larry."
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so and they were like 6'1".
Yes, they were big dudes.
250 pounds.
So they were just into lucha, like a couple of black dudes.
Yeah, they loved lucha. They were in the mask and the belts and everything. So we used to train every Saturday. Mm-hmm. So I said, I started looking around, and then I remember walking in on a Saturday, and they were. I go, oh man, this is what I need. Two big dudes, 250 plus pounds, and I remember. Actually, I started training them, and I started, because I knew a lot, they were there on their own, so I went in there and said, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to, I started just putting some exercises in their routine and stuff like that, and then I remember, I want to see how heavy you are, so what I used to, and this is something I teach my kids, and I teach a lot of the wrestlers, I used to do this one thing where, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go to the second rope and do a plancha, just a reverse plancha, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna catch you and with the regular basics, and then one important thing that I always taught the guys is when you roll the guys over, turn your head. Because if you don't turn your head, they just roll over your face.
Yep, steamroller style.
And so, anyways, and then I said, okay, well, I caught them, and I remember like having a little bit of. They had a little bit of hang time, and I caught him, and then I could catch this guy. So I said, okay, let's do it again. So they would throw the plancha, and I would just get him and just get in the air, just gonna twist him, and just set him on my shoulder.
Oh.
Just set him.
Just kind of adapted.
Yeah, and then I'll take him to the center of the ring, and I'll just give him a slam.
Oh. Wow.
But these were 250 plus pounds guys. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, I was discovering not only that I had different talents, but also that I had natural strength. Because, like I said, this is a 250 plus pound guy.
Yeah.
And I was catching him like nothing. So I said, okay, why don't we? Next thing I want you to do is go to the top and throw a plancha. And at first they were, dude, they touched the second rope, and the rope was shaking. The rope was shaking, But after a couple of weeks, They were naturals, man. They would just go to the top, doing the planches. I would catch them, throw them, and I remember doing a lot of exercise where, you have to do a lot of lifting and pushing and throwing. And I remember the first time after that, after all this training, I'm wrestling now. The first time I ever wrestled Piloto. Mm-hmm. And I remember just grabbing them and throwing them up so high for Huracanana. I remember I just seeing them in the air like, oh damn, I threw them high. And then coming down and then doing the Huracan, like really nice. Uh-huh. And then I would grab them and just spin them around and like nothing. Because at that time he was weighing about like 180 or 90.
Right.
It was nothing. I was picking them like he was a feather.
Like after Daryl and Daryl, he was like light as a feather.
Whatever happened to Daryl and Daryl?
I wonder.
One of the Daryls, I seen him a couple of, actually be a little bit before Gil closed. Oh. I saw them both.
It was about 7 or 8 years ago. Because I think
a bit longer than that.
I thought because Gil's closed at the end of 2006.
Yeah, I want to say 2003, 2004.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I seen them both. Actually, they were trying to do a comeback, but one of the Daryls, he got into drugs.
Oh, jeez. That's a shame.
Yeah, he got into drugs, and he lost a lot of weight. He lost a lot of weight, but he was trying to do a comeback.
We had one of our most fascinating listeners is a guy named Scotty Astro, who actually, he's an American who just kind of backpacks through South America and will actually wrestle in places like Guatemala, Peru. But, total fan. And he was watching, in fact, I think it was one of your DVDs from the Olympic Auditorium in the LaBelle days. Okay. And I know you know the story about this guy. They had a masked character for a few months called the Whip, who was actually Cool Cat Charles Clark. And he had 2 runs in the LaBelle territory, once in 1977 as Cool Cat Clark, and he was mainly used to, I think, put over Ron Bass in a short program. And then he reappeared as the Whip. But I didn't realize till I started hitting Gil's gym just what a big part he was in the lucha scene. And it came as kind of a shock because the first time I was really aware. Actually, the first time I was aware of it was not when I went to Gil's, but when I was going to Hadco Plaza. And they did a tribute to him, and they brought him out in a wheelchair. And I remember your dad was...
my dad wheeled him in around the ring.
And I remember just being in shock because I never heard anything happening to him, but I know you talked very highly of him before. Tell us a little about him. He was one of my
idols, dude, because he had like the Hulk Hogan gimmick where he was put into... this is the first person I've ever seen do that, where they put him in the chokehold, and he just started, shaking his body, after the raise of the hand.
Yeah. Raise of the hand twice.
And that's really old.
Oh, yes.
And he used to do it to the perfection, dude. And I remember Cool Cat, who didn't like that Cool Cat because he had an Adonis body.
Yeah.
Real great physique. I remember... That was the first dude I ever seen do cartwheels. Wow. And he was awesome, dude. And I love this name, Cool Cat.
Yeah, and he did look cool too. He just looked so suave, and
he was one of the guys I really looked up to. And I think he came out of Gil's. I don't know, for some reason I want to say that because I've seen him since Hadco Plaza started. The story with him is that I think he went to a liquor store and he was caught by a lost bullet.
Oh man!
And it just got him in the spinal cord.
Man.
And he lost the use of his legs. Mm. And I remember they did a tribute to him, and I remember my dad. He was crying, man. He was crying.
Yes.
And he wheeled him around the ring.
Wow.
But man, you know what? What was so cool. When the Win tapings aired, when they stopped airing, and it actually was it was Wing, it was the same company, and they showed a few older shows with Cool Cat in them.
No way.
Wow. Cool Cat, Carlos Mata.
Oh my God.
I think it was Raul and some of the Hadco Plaza guys.
Wow.
Maybe that's where that guy got the
That's that guy, because on YouTube about 2 years ago, there was a guy on YouTube who had an account who put some stuff from the Olympic Auditorium, and it was Hadco guys. It was when Al Murrieta used to team with Mariah Del Ring. Your brothers were on there. Gil was on there. And then I was going to try to figure a way to get it off YouTube, but the guy closed his account, and I wanted to scream.
I think he kind of got annoyed because people were asking him if they could like get the stuff off him,
and you didn't want to sell them.
Very, nitpicky and all that.
Yeah, because that's actually it aired right after the Win tape.
Okay, so
and it did have the same Seaglass, the same the Win thing.
The logo.
The logo. It had
Yeah.
the Win logo. And I remember seeing Jalisco and then...
That's probably the one that we saw, the Jalisco one, because that's the one that was still on YouTube one time.
Yes.
The Jalisco one.
So, I'm like, oh man. And unfortunately, I didn't have the I wasn't planning on taping anything.
So you didn't have a tape or a VCR? Wow, oh, how frustrating.
Nobody ever thought that when they had a VCR.
Yeah, and then just, because I knew they'd stop, but I said, let me see if they're showing something. And I saw Cool Cat, like, oh man. And I was going crazy looking for a tape.
Yeah, your VCRs right there, like, nobody's using it.
I'd love to see him in his prime, because when LaBelle used him, I personally thought LaBelle missed the boat on this guy. Yeah. He just kept him in openers. He didn't bury him, but the guy just had such charisma. And without even doing anything, he
sure
just...
did. And I remember this is the first guy I ever saw do the shaking.
Yeah, the Hogan
And he
thing.
would get up, and man, people went nuts, dude. With Cool Cat. And he had a great physique, man. Great physique.
Do you know the story of how everybody kind of came together to start the whole local scene here, like when they got it together, like how Gil's Gym came about, how Arena Center came about? Well,
actually, you know what? Like all the rest of the wrestlers here, or some of the new ones. That's why I in our radio talk show, I've always said, thank God for this way of communication that. A lot of guys come and they're always looking for gyms, especially wrestling gyms, and they can never find any.
Yes.
Yeah. And back in the day, Gil, everybody who was local knew about Gil's, but if you came from Mexico or from something, nobody knew about it because it was because Gil had it, he didn't have it registered or anything.
Yeah.
So it was like clandestinamente, so you couldn't.
You had to know somebody to find
exactly.
it.
To go to Gil's.
Yeah.
And so anyways, back in the day, I was talking to what's his name? Bart's associate, Edward. Okay, his name is Lee, and he used to have a body shop or a mechanic shop, and my dad was working with him. And Lee was a wrestler.
Oh.
Okay, and that's how my dad got to know about Gil's.
Oh.
And that's the early 70s. And I remember hanging around with Edward, Eduardo, and we were just talking about it the other day. Hey, remember, when we went to the beach, we were about, I was about 7 or 8 years at that time. And that's when actually my dad started going to Gil's, and we started going to Arena Center. And this is 75, 76.
Wow, and that was that the first time there was like a local independent scene?
Actually, you know what? La Arena Center was already promoting, because I have some
flyers or newspaper clippings, La Opinion.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's allowed. I'll show them to you.
Yeah, definitely.
And it was some newspaper clipping. I can't remember what year, but we'll check them out right now. They're pretty cool.
Oh, really?
And the guy writing is Benny Leon.
Oh yes, another legend of local Los Angeles.
So when it was doing poorly, it was at an old movie theater, and I remember playing with Enrique Medina's kid.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
When
so,
he's a little guy.
Yeah, and you know what? my dad had just, he was here from Mexico from '69, and so he used to promote in Guadalajara. Oh, so he had a lot of good ideas. He had a lot of good stuff, and he was a big influence. For my dad said, what, we need a bigger place. We need a better place than this old theater here. We need to expand. We need to get a place where, we could run off of every week.
Yeah.
So I remember going with my dad to check out the Jalco Plaza. It was Benny and Vandal Leon. Moctezuma Promotions. Vandal Leon, Gil, and my dad. And I tagged along. And Vandal Leon was the guy with the money. He had property. He had bank accounts. He had the, in case he had a foul out, he's got money to, to pay for everything.
Right.
And then Gil was the other associate promoter. My dad also. My dad was in charge of the beer selling and the matchmaking, and like I said, my dad had plenty of ideas.
Well, it's funny because when I started going, it was 1981, and those were the best organized indie shows I had ever seen, even compared to shows today. And what I liked were the opening wrestlers. They were green, but they wrestled what they knew. They didn't try to do all these high spots. They weren't equipped. And in those opening matches, you'd see just one or two high spots. They wouldn't try to upstage anybody. And I didn't realize that was probably your dad doing the matchmaking, because when you booked for him in '97, that's the same way you would book the shows.
Yeah. And in '97, I had two guys from León, Guanajuato, Misterioso Moicano, and Cuchillo.
Oh, yes.
And these were two great wrestlers.
Yeah, Cuchillo, yeah.
And they were masters at their craft. And I go, dude, you know what? I hate to put you in the lower cards, but I need people like you to move these guys around. Eventually I will give you your guys' place, but for now I need you guys to help me.
You need veterans to do that.
And
that's part of the business.
One of the things that really helped get people there early.
Because they knew there was somebody good opening in the early matches.
I remember I had Bulldog Rivera, I had them two, I had Espacial, and I had El Rielero that were green, but these guys would move them and make them look really good. So, and plus they were training with them, so they really knew what they were doing. So my thing was always short and sweet, Don't do a long match. It's gonna be boring, and then you're gonna be repeating yourself.
Yeah.
Then by the time the main event comes, the fans are going to be tired and want to go home. Like, we've been here all night.
Exactly. So so that that's what I was trying to do back then, and that's what my dad did back then also. My dad, he was a very savvy person. He knew his craft. He knew what he was doing. He was a big part in Jalco Plaza. He was the one that got the big contract. I mean, the big sponsor, and our biggest sponsor there was Budweiser.
Wow.
I remember that.
Yeah, because I remember one of the guys that worked for the Budweiser company had an accident. So, he didn't want to, report it to the insurance because he was going to be in trouble. So my dad said, dude, don't worry, just bring it here. And one day he just popped out been bondoed and just paint over it,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I remember that, I used to go to my dad's. So I was with my dad all the time.
Yeah.
So. And anyway, and then, we're running a lucha promotion here. We're looking for sponsors. I go, dude, you know what? I'll call you in. Let me talk to my bosses, and we'll take it from there. And then we're sponsoring the beers, dude.
That is awesome. Oh, I remember how the beer vendors and at the year at
my
the
dad
end
was
show.
in charge of the.
Yeah.
Of selling the beers. Him and my brother, my oldest brother.
And I love how you guys have so many great traditions. I think I already said this on the last podcast, but one of the ones I loved at Hadco was after somebody lost a fall, the winner would take that guy and chuck him out of the ring as just a little something extra. I loved that.
Dude, I haven't seen that in years.
Yeah. Yes. Jeff and I kept doing that when nobody else did. I said, Jeff, they used to do this all the time.
Yeah,
but,
that's true.
And then the other thing I loved is when they'd have like a hair versus hair. Whoever lost would they wouldn't shave it completely bald. They'd leave little patches of hair. And was it Fantomas? I think it was him who came back. The other punishment was he had to come back with that same bad haircut and sell beer. I love the stuff that was really creative, but nothing overboard. I love that stuff.
Give me a minute, guys.
No rush. Let me do that. Well, we went through a nice wave of history, both national history and Southern California history with SuperBoy. Thank you as always for appearing on our show, and let's plug Fusion Pro Wrestling.
Most definitely.
And it's going to be every other Friday night.
It's going to be every other Friday night.
Except the times you decide to run it on Sunday.
Except the time when it's my birthday.
So I don't get to go, you know.
No, you know what? I just want to make a shout out over there to all the people that are listening. That we have Fusion Pro Wrestling. It's a new company, and it's all about the new talent, and it's about doing things right. We're looking at just following tradition, and just basically just giving good wrestling shows. Lucha Libre. That's our strong.
It's not a promotion that's gonna push your sons.
Of course, they gotta push my kids. I want to get them. It's like I tell them. We have to start from the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm promoting doesn't mean I'm put you in the headliner. No, you got to start from the bottom. Doing the most I'll put you guys is in the third. And because they do have that natural ability to learn fast.
They do.
And I'm really proud of them, both of them. And
one more than the other.
No, actually, I like it.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, both sons are in here, and I think we're going to have a fight. It'll be a pay-per-view.
Your third son said he's starting next year. But
you know what? He's going to turn 14 next year. What I really want is for him to. He's a really high flyer. He took after his dad. I don't say these guys are not high flyers, but you know what? He's just naturally. I took him to the gym once, and he just went in there and just started doing backflips and front flips and just jumping from the. They go, hey, wait a minute, where did you learn this? Dad, I was watching your videos. Like I said, naturally, they have that ability to just not struggle with anything. So that's cool. That's really cool. I like that. So and I apologize. My voice is not that good today, and I'm a little bit tired. But I'm sorry I didn't put a lot of enthusiasm this time. But next time.
You only gave us almost 2 hours. You lazy person, you. But thank you, and we'll go over more history very
Most
soon.
Definitely, and I just want to, say this, man. You missed a really good show.
I know. I
just want to rub it in.
Not because we're their friends, but these shows, folks, Fusion Pro Wrestling, it's 1206 East 71st Street in L.A., every other Friday, 8 o'clock. These are quality shows.
Remember, they're between Central and Hooper, right behind Florence. So, we'll see you guys there, and most definitely, Kurt, again, thank you.
The other guy. Physical.
Actually, when I saw it, it's not Fredo. Jesus Christ.
For the listeners out there, people confuse Fredo for physico-nuclear, so it's...
They got the same seat.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They started asking me about wrestling, and I don't know how to do that. I don't know that.
No, well, thank you guys, and I want to see you guys back soon. And tomorrow, if you guys like it.
Very soon.
So, most definitely.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.